together this Shabbat. We're beginning the book of Shmot, this amazing story of our liberation from oppression, our liberation from slavery. And one of the key figures in that, of course, is Moshe, is Moses. We get the story of his birth and the 5 amazing, courageous women who defied the orders of Pharaoh, a god of his time, in his place in the most powerful empire in the then yet known world. They defied these 5 women, Pharaoh's orders, and left the baby Moshe alive and rescued him so that he could become the prophet. He could become the vehicle for divine deliverance. There's a moment in this week's Parsha where he's had to flee Egypt because he has killed an Egyptian taskmaster. He's now killed someone who only Pharaoh has the right to decide about their fates, one of Pharaoh's own officers. Moshe's killed him because he's seen him beat a Hebrew slave to the point where Moshe felt like he had to intervene. And we could have a 4-hour discussion about and a trial about whether Moshe should be found guilty or innocent. But in any case, Moshe has to flee. And so he flees and he becomes a shepherd. He becomes someone watching sheep. He marries the daughter of the high priest of Midian and tends sheep for his father-in-law. That's what he does for a living now. He's no longer a prince of Egypt. He's now tending sheep in the desert for his father-in-law. That's his life now. And he's in the desert tending those flocks of sheep and goats and all the things that our semi-nomadic pastoralist ancestors did to make a living. And there's a bush on fire. If you see a bush on fire in the desert and you have your father-in-law's flocks, which are flammable, with you, what do? You either put it out or you run as fast as you can in the other direction, yes? One spark in the desert on like goat hair, you're done. But Moshe doesn't do that. Moshe instead sees the sneh on fire. He sees the bush on fire. And he says, let me turn aside. Torah tells us, let me turn aside to see this sight. So Moshe stops. He's curious. So it turns out the Torah is telling us the first order of business, if you're going to be a leader, is that you have to be curious. And next, it says, he turns aside and he looks at the sneh and he looks at it long enough and closely enough to notice that the bush is on fire, but it's not being consumed. It takes a long time to look at wood in a fire to know that the wood isn't diminished at all, right? So what's the second quality of a leader, it seems that Torah is teaching us? Patience. Don't just go by what you see right away, what you see happening, and then just make all kinds of snap decisions and snap assumptions. Be curious. Have some patience. And when he sees that, he says, wow, this must be something special. And at that moment, it's that moment where God calls to Moshe, not before that. It takes us living into our qualities of curiosity, of patience, of looking closely, and then of noticing what's really different and unique and really special in any given moment. That's what opens up the possibility for the divine to rise and move through us in a way that we are led to some really interesting next steps. When we just jump to conclusions or read what they say and that's it, we have no questions about it, we don't go any deeper, and we just work on those facts and we work on those assumptions, I got to tell y'all, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Look deeper. We need you to look deeper. Ask questions. Challenge what you hear. Challenge what you read. Challenge what you're told to think. Challenge what you're told is the way it has to be. That's what makes Moshe able to work one of the greatest resistance movements in history, one of the greatest openings, the greatest liberation stories of all time that every liberation movement has looked to for inspiration out of the Judeo-Christian heritage. May we each have the patience to look really deeply. May we have curiosity and good, healthy doubt about everything we're told. And may we use that to say, aha, this is a sacred, amazing, holy moment that can call me into what only I can do in this world. So may it be for especially every one of you young people. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.